How you feeling? You got John Riggs here at your service, once again talking about some great underrated PlayStation 3 games this time. I'm a huge fan of the PlayStation 3. It was my primary gaming system for many years. And I'm sure the 360 did as well, but the PlayStation 3 was the first time I noticed digital games that were only available digitally. A lot of times you'd see something that would be like you could get it physical or digital, but it was the first time I started seeing some digital games that never came out physically, and that was interesting to me. So these games, to the best of my knowledge, don't have a physical version yet, but here are some great underrated PlayStation 3 games that you can get digitally. And because they're digital PS3 games, they're games that maybe you didn't even know existed. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I do about 2 videos a week. I'm a huge old school gamer. Make sure you're subscribed. Always something new coming up for you. Winners don't eat meat? Well, I don't know about that. We have Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game. Now, this game is not necessarily underrated, nor is it a hidden gem. A lot of people have been talking about it, especially with it being re-released coming up here right quick. But what people may not realize is there's an extra game mode, which is Dodgeball. Now, it doesn't play exactly like the Kunio Super Dodgeball type games, but it plays very similarly. It's almost more like a Battle Royale style. You can go anywhere in the playground here, but it does have that feature where if you run and then launch it, or run and jump and launch it, then you can clear out multiple enemies in a row. And this is just a fun extra game to have in the Scott Pilgrim game. I'm pretty sure, I hope so, I hope they include this in the new one coming up. But when I heard about the hype and I started playing this game again, I was like, oh yeah, there's that Dodgeball mode, cool. Capcom released Bionic Commando ReArmed. Now, a lot of people already know about DuckTales when they redid it from the NES version. This is the redone NES version of Bionic Commando, and done extremely well. In fact, they even add a few extra things to this too. So, just like before, you don't have a jump button, you have your grappling hook, you can unlock new weapons along the way, and you can also use your arm for, multiple purposes other than just using it as a grappling hook. But one of the features of Bionic Commando was you can go inside these little places and you can talk to headquarters to find out what's going on in that level, or you can kind of hack the enemy computer to find out what the enemies are talking about. And this one's done a little differently than the NES one. The NES one just goes straight to what they're talking about. This one you have to pass a little mini game, which is basically just kind of to push the ball through the blocks, and it's a little extra something, right? And this version of the game also features big, fun, creative bosses, which the NES one had kind of some bosses in it, but the bosses in this one I think are way cooler. I would love it if Capcom came back with this one for current consoles. The Bionic Commando ReArmed. Would love to see this one, and would also love to see Russian Attack Ex-Patriot. Now, this one, of course, from Konami, and it's a new version of Russian Attack. But it's not the NES version, not the arcade version of Russian Attack. It's a brand new game. It's this 2D style, features some stealth, features some killing. It's Russian Attack, and I'm a huge fan of Russian Attack. I do like the fact that this is PlayStation 3. They could have done a 3D version of this game, but making it this 3D-ish 2D game, I'm all about that. I think it worked really well. I absolutely love this title, Blue Toad Murder Files. Features 6 chapters in this game. There's 6 episodes. And each one is a whodunit style thing. What I love about this game, the charm of this game, I love just how it looks and everything. One person did every voice for this game. Every character you run into, including the narrator, is all done by the same person doing different voices. I love that. This game, it's Professor Layton. If you like the Layton style games where you talk to someone and say, well, let's see if you can figure this out. Then they give you like a little puzzle or like a math problem or something like that. It features a lot of those style games, which I absolutely love. So if you like that style of game, you like the Layton style of game, I think you're going to like this one a lot. And there is kind of a charm with this game too. It's kind of that British charm that I absolutely love. I would not mind seeing this available, especially physically, on modern consoles. I'd love to see this on the Switch for sure. A Castlevania game that you may have never played is Castlevania Harmony of Despair. Well, it's made to be a multiplayer online game. You can also play it locally too. There is a one-player mode, so even though the online stuff isn't working, as you can see, I just tried just in case, you can still play it at home. Multiple characters to choose from. I even paid extra on this one to play as the character from Getsufumaden. And it's kind of a how fast can you get to the end style game. Now, this level here in particular is the entire game of Castlevania as one level. Now I'll even play as 8-bit Simon Belmont just for fun. But it's cool to go through it. Now imagine playing this with other people online. You're all going through it together, working together. It's a great experience. It's a fun time. And again, different characters to choose from, different stages to choose from. It's a fun game, and I love the music to this game. Of course, it's Castlevania. How can you not love the Castlevania music? Wouldn't mind seeing even a sequel to this for current consoles, because, man, playing this game when it first came out, with playing others online and everything like that, it was a lot of fun. Not really a remake, but this is Choplifter HD, and this is bringing back that Choplifter game. Choplifter comes from the old school. You're a helicopter, you have to fly through enemy territory, pick up hostages, or pick up people, bring them back to base. And you do that in this game too, or you can. But you can also, shoot the other enemies, whether it be in the foreground, the side ground. You can maneuver as you can. I was a big fan of Choplifter growing up, and seeing it again in HD on the PlayStation 3 was super fun. You even have you can use your other analog to kind of aim and target exactly where you want to shoot. You have guns, missiles. You can unlock different helicopters along the way and stuff like that too. Fun game with this Choplifter HD. I had a lot of fun with this one. If you haven't noticed, I played a lot of new versions of older games on my PlayStation 3 when it came out digitally. Frogger Hyper Arcade Edition. So many different gameplay styles in this Frogger game. For today's analogy, it's probably best like Splatoon, where you have to cover as much ground as possible with your own color. And then if you make it to the goal on the other side, then those pieces lock into place so the other players can't overtake your squares until you lose a life, and then they unlock, and then they can go ahead and do that. And that's just one of the many features in this game. I mean, there's a battle royal mode where you have to defeat the other frogs. There's a paint mode where you have to paint over the colors of these things without, dying along the way. And there's also the classic Frogger mode where you cross the road, cross the river, get to your goal, fill them all up. And there are multiple ways you could look at it. There's even like a Castlevania one, as you can see here. There was a Contra one, there's like a DDR one. I mean, there's a lot of variety with this game. I had a lot of fun with this because there's always something going on. I love it. And Braid, not necessarily a hidden gem, and maybe not even that underrated, but Braid was the first game I can remember, in my own memory, that I heard was coming out digitally only and never had a physical release. And that blew my mind. I was like, really? It must be really good if people are talking about it and there's not like a physical copy available. So I had to check it out, and I'm so glad I did. Love the art style in this game. It's a platformer, but the gimmick behind it is you have a rewind feature, so you never truly die. If you do, it just tells you to rewind it, and then you rewind it to a part where you didn't die. And you have to just get through the whole game. There's kind of like a fantasy puzzle element. You have to find these puzzle pieces, put them together. There's some things in this game like that you can interact with that don't rewind when you rewind, and there's other little elements along the way too. It's a fantastic experience. I did hear, I'm glad they're coming out with like the 10th anniversary edition so others can play this finally. Hopefully that gets a physical release, but even if it goes digital, I'll probably grab it again. And there's a lot more than that too. Those are just a few of the digital games I have for my PlayStation 3 that I still have active, and I thank you for watching. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you check out these other underrated games videos for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, and so much more. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you and everything you do. You're awesome, and we'll see you again real soon.